Welcome to the Avexia webinar series. Our topic for today's special webinar is Part 1, the Sovereign Practitioner Building a 100,000 plus online practice on your own terms. My name is Christopher Chu. I'm the Director of Marketing for Avexia Diagnostics and will be your host for this webinar. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of being joined by an exciting guest, Michelle Rogers, who will be our presenter for this webinar. Michelle, with her background as a naturopathic doctor, acupuncturist, and functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, is a trailblazer when it comes to helping health practitioners build their own online practice. With over 6 years of experience running a successful online practice herself, and now mentoring dozens of health professionals, Michelle is passionate about helping others achieve financial stability, personal fulfillment, and professional freedom. Through her programs, BYOP University, the Wealth Academy, and Catalyst Mastermind, she guides practitioners to build online practices that double their current revenue and turn their 10-hour workday into a 10-hour work week in as little as 90 days. Without further delay, I will now turn the webinar over to Michelle.
Hello and welcome. I am Michelle. You can see Bruno in the background. I am going to go ahead and share my screen so that we are on the same page. So today's talk is part of a 3-part series. So this is going to be part 1, right? So build your online practice and attract high caliber clients, a step-by-step system. And in this part 1, we're going to be going over the Sovereign Practitioner. So how to build a $100,000 plus online practice on your own terms. Now, I'm going to be showing you exactly what it takes to build a 6-figure online practice that you love so that you can ditch the inflated overhead costs, the long commutes, the lack of patient engagement, endless paperwork, insurance claims, and income ceilings, right? The stuff that is leaving you feeling exhausted, frustrated, and undervalued. Am I right? Okay. So what we're going to be covering today is the 100K per year online practice business model, legal considerations. I know that's a big concern for a lot of people. Essentials versus distractions. There's a lot of things that you should not be doing that you might be doing. Embracing social media, freedom, flexibility, fulfillment, and funds, which I love teaching practitioners how to build. And then I have prepared an online practice setup checklist for you that you can download towards the end. All right. So first off, let's cover the 100K per year model. So the goal is to build an online practice around your lifestyle and not the other way around. And I really want you to keep this in mind as we work through this 3-part series, okay? But what does a 100K per year online practice actually look like? I love breaking things down into perspective because it really helps make it more tangible and more accessible. Okay. So 100K per year is $8,333.33 per month, which is $1,923.08 per week, which is $277.78 per day. Okay. Now, this could look like one high ticket client per month at 8,400 or more, right? This could be 4 group program clients per month at 1,997. This could be 30 members who are subscribed at $297 per month. Or it could be a combination of any of these, right? So if we're thinking for the entire year, you could have 4 high ticket clients with 10 group program members with 14 members who are subscribed at the $297 per month mark, right? And that ends up being $103,466. Right? Plus, as you expand and grow your audience, you can choose to include online courses, digital products, master classes, all kinds of different things that could actually boost your revenue even more. But what I love to teach is that you only need to start with one offer, right? All you need to get started, one offer, one social media channel, yourself, of course, and possibly a virtual assistant. I'm not going to get into the details of having a VA right now, but it's more accessible than you think. You can start with a low number of hours per week. It could be 2 to 5, 10 hours per week. You don't need to hire them full time, right? So anyways, we'll dive deeper into your offer in part 2 of this 3-part video series, along with group models in part 3. But ideally, you start with one intimate high ticket offer. So this could look like about 5 to 20 clients in total for like the whole year, right? Usually a 6 to 12 month program. You could potentially have pre-recorded curriculum, or you could record curriculum as you move through your program with your clients. So you know exactly what they're needing to hear and what they're needing to move through, because you're likely going to repeat those things with other clients, right? Bi-monthly calls. So this could look like, once per month, twice per month, 3 times per month, 4 times per month, whatever. Chat support as needed, right? So this could look like voice notes or texting, or if you have a client management system, there's usually a chat feature inside of there. And you can charge anywhere from $6,000 per client to $30,000 per client or more, right? I'm not here to limit you, but like these are potentials, and this is very much within your reach. Okay. You can enroll into a maintenance or a month-to-month program after that initial container is over, right? So you can retain those clients. Now, how to get clients? We've got your offer, we've got what's called a funnel, we've got sales. Okay. So when it comes to your offer, I love the idea of holistic alignment, right? A lot of us are functional providers or holistic healthcare practitioners in one way, shape, or form, right? Like my background's in naturopathic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, functional diagnostic nutrition. We love working with the whole person. So when it comes to holistic alignment for us and our offer, I'm talking about who you're working with, how you're serving them, the modalities that you're including, like a really beautiful, holistically aligned offer and services and people, like everything involved in your online practice feels really good. Okay. Intimate versus scalable offers. So, like I mentioned, intimate is like a one-on-one offer. Scalable would be like a one-to-many offer. And when you're considering your offer, you've got your pricing, your time frame, the type and level of support or proximity that you provide. When it comes to your funnel, that is how you bring people into your world, right? So you could do this through social media, social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, like whatever platform, LinkedIn, whatever platform your ideal clients are hanging out on. What content or like what focus your content has. So cold, warm, and hot, this is, I'm not going to go into so much detail, but basically, where are your people at in their own journey? Do they know and have awareness of the problem? Do they know and have awareness of the solutions available? Are they actively looking for solutions? So all of these different aspects will determine how you write your content. Okay. Lead generation, how are you bringing people in, through social media? Yes. Do you have an opt-in or a freebie or a masterclass or something that you're bringing in leads from? And then we've got sales, right? Do you bring people into your program anytime throughout the year? Do you have an open and closed cart? So there's certain times that you bring people in, kind of turn the faucet on or turn the faucet off. Are you running sales calls yourself? Are you doing, or do you have like a team with you doing setting, doing closing? These are more advanced, strategies that I'm not going to be going into here. And then we've got sales calls versus DMs. So are you hopping on calls, having conversations with people? Are you just chatting with them through Messenger or DMs and closing sales that way? So the whole, like, basically what I love to say here is like, just keep it simple. Whatever feels good and aligned for you is going to work, because my experience after being in the online space since 2018, I've worked with many, many, many different coaches, many different mentors. I've had several different clients. I've worked with, dozens of practitioners at this point. Everything works. It's really about finding the thing that works for you. So I encourage you to not get overwhelmed with this, but just know that like finding your strategy is really going to be key in all of this. So program delivery, we typically have the curriculum, we have support, and then we have retention. So when it comes to curriculum, this is really your client journey. Where are they starting? What is the end result, the outcome, the desire? Like, where are they going? How are they getting there? So your curriculum, and this doesn't necessarily need to be educational modules, but this could be the journey that you're taking them through, right? Point A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever, to get them to where they want to be. Are you doing this pre-recorded? Are you doing it live, like doing live calls with them? Are you sending them educational modules or materials? Progress tracking, really, really important to track your client's progress, right? How many times have we worked with clients or patients when they're like, I'm not feeling any better, or like, I'm not making progress, or I've plateaued, or I've regressed, or whatever. And it's like, if you don't have tracking in place, then it's really challenging to show them and be like, actually, whoa, like you were here just a couple months ago. Do you remember? And then they're like, oh my gosh, I forgot I was having migraines every single day. Right? Like I've definitely had clients like that. So having a proper progress tracking in place is really, really important so that you can actually show and demonstrate the results that they're getting over time. What type of support are you providing? Is it one-on-one? Is it one-to-many? Is it in a group setting? What type of check-ins and accountability? What's the rhythm there? How often are you doing that? Are you doing that? What does that look like? Are you working on your own or do you have a team, right? Like, do you have support coaches, health coaches, nutritionists on your team? Like, how are you providing that support? Retention. So, are they reaching specific milestones? If so, do you have a way to demonstrate that to them? Do you have avenues to upsell or resell them into different programs or containers or maintenance packages or whatever that looks like for you? And then what is that rhythm, right? Depending on the length of your program. Is your program 6 months, 3 months, 12 months, like whatever that looks like? What is your rhythm to help to retain your ideal dream clients? So legal considerations, let's dive into this. Now, most importantly, I am, being very clear, transparent. This is not legal advice, right? Like I'm not a lawyer. I do recommend, however, chatting with Lisa Fraley. I do have the link to connect with her in the download that I'm providing at the end of this chat. So she's incredible. I've been working with her for many years now, and many of the practitioners that I train work with her as well. But let's get clear on some definitions so that we're all on the same page, right? So, physical practice, this is your typical brick and mortar in person practice, okay? Telehealth or telemedicine, this is similar to your typical in person practice, but with phone or video communication, right? So, you're still like licensed, you still need to abide by all licensure standards, regulations, all the things from your board, right? Like, you are still completely liable for all of that stuff. When you have a virtual or online practice, this is where you can practice as a non-licensed or an unlicensed practitioner. Certification is recommended, but there's no black and white laws or legal stuff at the moment, right? So if you do want to do this route, I do recommend getting an additional certification. It could be health coach, could be life coach, could be nutritional certification, whatever that looks like for you, whatever your preference is. But it is recommended for additional just coverage and decreased liability. So all consults are done via phone or video, right? Online practice. You do have increased flexibility and broader reach, allowing you to work with clients beyond state or even country lines. We are working with clients and not patients. So verbiage can be really important in the online space. We recommend or suggest, we do not prescribe, right? We also do not treat, cure, or diagnose, right? We don't make any other health related claims, right? We're simply educating. That's it. That's what we're doing. Okay. So some practitioners choose to create a hybrid model, which I've seen work out really, really well for some practitioners, where they maintain their in-person practice, licensure, and all, right, while building their online practice. This typically requires you to create a separate business entity, plus everything associated with that business entity, right? So I have this in the checklist, but I mean, we're talking banking, creating a business entity, LLC, or whatever that looks like for you, blah, 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 all of the things. And just making sure that you're keeping everything very clearly delineated and separated. Again, Lisa can help you with all of this kind of stuff. You don't need malpractice insurance. You actually probably won't be able to get coverage for malpractice insurance when it comes to your online practice. But I typically recommend that people get liability insurance, which is really, really, really cheap for the year. It's like $200 or something like that. But it's just that extra layer of protection that you can get. And it's basically filed under being a health coach. So essentials versus distractions. How are we guys doing? We doing okay? All right. So you don't need a website. You don't need a website. You don't need a website. I see so many practitioners wasting so much time, energy, money, creativity on a website when you literally do not need one. Like you can create a 100K per year online practice with social media alone. I did it myself. I've seen it happen dozens of times. Okay. Once you hit the 100K mark, then if you have disposable income and you want to create a fancy website, like by all means, you absolutely can. But still, even then, not necessary, right? You can actually have your offer breakdown presented as a Canva presentation. I love Canva, right? A Google Doc, like keep it simple, right? Or a Notion page. If you guys haven't used Notion before, I absolutely love it. I organize my life and my business on there. But really, any platform you prefer, like you can create a document that just walks people through your offer, but just include your calendar link so that they can book a call at the end if you're doing sales calls, right? Again, keep it simple. All right. So other things I do not recommend wasting your precious time on, at least right now, right? This is not forever. This is right now where you're at, especially if you're just getting started. Don't worry about a logo. Don't hire a logo design person. Don't try to create an online course, right? Don't try to create complex marketing funnels. Don't try to be on all the social media platforms, right? These are all things that are incredible distractions and they keep us from actually moving forward in creating the online practice that we truly want. So instead, I recommend investing your time into client acquisition, right? Getting those leads, getting people into your world, into your ecosystem, building community and relationships, right? Which showing up on social media, right? Clarifying who you serve. I see so many practitioners bypassing this. We're going to dive deeper into this, but in a later video. But who you serve, clarifying your service offerings, value-driven content. So on social media, like really providing a lot of value so that people start to build that know, like, and trust factor. And then being consistent with social media. And this does not mean posting every single day. This, like, find your rhythm. What does consistent mean to you, right? Consistent doesn't mean constant, right? Those are two different things, right? So is it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week? Like if it is every day, cool. Like, but just find a rhythm that you can actually stick with. Okay. So embracing social media. So the biggest hang up practitioners have about starting an online practice is putting themselves out there on social media. Like, do you feel that? So they avoid it due to fear of judgment, imposter syndrome, perfectionism, overwhelm, time management, lack of tech skills, no audience, where are we at? Low engagement, lack of content ideas, consistency, comparison. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right? It's long. So the thing is, social media is really key to your online practice success, right? It's the easiest way to connect with your dream clients when you use it correctly. And if you're just starting out, don't be too rigid. You can view it as an experiment, right? Basically, the more you post, the more experience you have posting, the more experience you have writing, you start to see what people react to, what people engage with, right? So view it as like an experiment, lighten it up, make it a little bit more fun. Like, oh, interesting. They responded to this, or oh, they didn't respond to that. Okay, cool. Like, start playing with it. Do you enjoy writing? Do you enjoy making video content or audio content, right? Does your audience respond to one more than the other, right? So really just figuring out what works for you. How can you infuse your perspective, your philosophy, your wisdom, your personality, your knowledge, your experience into your posts? People need to get to know you before they invest in you. Okay. So when it comes to posting consistently, like I said, find a cadence that works for the season of life that you're in. Be sure to leverage behind the scenes footage and keep it simple. And what I mean by that is take a video of you making your morning smoothie or your breakfast or out on a walk or working out. Like, how can you just do, like, basically video or document things that you're already doing? You don't need to set aside hours per day to document things for social media. Just document things that you're already doing. Okay. So just remember that the best way to attract your dream clients is to just be yourself, right? And this tends to be the hardest, but most potent piece because the more you let your authenticity shine, the more polarizing we become, right? And this This is the scariest part, but it's perfect because it's just as important to magnetize the right people as it is to repel the wrong people, right? We don't want red flags in our brand new online practice that we're building, right? We don't want to just take our practice, our in person practice that we're unfulfilled by, and create that in the online space. That doesn't make any sense, right? We want to have a practice where it feels really good to interact with the people that we're working with and serving, right? Quality over quantity, always. So, we have to remember that there's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with what you do or say. Always, no matter what. If you do it or you don't do it, someone's going to have an opinion about it, right? So you might as well just go for it. So, freedom, flexibility, fulfillment, and funds. I want to talk a little bit about this because there are a few core things that are really, really, really important when we're entering the online space. So, money mindset is huge, right? Undervaluing yourself is what leads to burnout, financial instability, and decreased quality of care. This is what it means to be unfulfilled. We don't want this, right? So you have to remember that you facilitate a life-giving transformation. So charge accordingly. Make sure your prices reflect that accordingly, right? Life changing, life giving, life saving in many circumstances, right? People invest in what they value, period. If you take one thing away from this training today, this video, that is the key. People invest in what they value. Okay. Prioritizing yourself. So when you are taken care of physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, you're able to fully show up in life, right? It's the adage, right? The fill your own cup, right? You can't serve from an empty cup, but it's so freaking true. Okay. Like you need to be taken care of to be able to come from a place of service, from overflow instead of from sustenance. We don't need any more practitioners who are depleted and exhausted and burnt out. Okay. When you're burnt out, everyone loses. So, lastly, you are able, capable, worthy, all the things of being able to create a life and practice on your own terms. Like 100%. You can do this and you deserve it. Okay. So, online practice setup checklist. I'm so excited to give this to you. So, this is my gift to you. And basically, you can download it. You can use it to guide yourself towards building your online practice. It has little tasks that are related to personal development, practice principles, digital tools, money mindset, marketing and messaging, social media, legal considerations. It is going to really, really help you get everything situated and see where the gaps are and see where you need to focus your time and attention. So you can download that by just using your camera. The instructions are here. So basically open up your camera app on your phone, point the camera at this QR code, wait for a little notification, and then you just like tap that notification and it'll take you to the page where you can drop your email and I will send that checklist right over to you. So what is next? So if you enjoyed this part one, you are going to love part two and part three. So part two is crafting irresistible offers that sell themselves. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then part three, we've got your first 10K month of many, right? Strategies to consistently hit your financial goals. So I'm so excited to see you in those trainings. That is all I have today. Thank you so much for being here, for showing up, for playing full out, and I will see you in part two.
Thank you, Michelle, for this informative presentation. Thank you all again for joining us for this webinar event. Until next time, from everyone at Vexia Diagnostics, stay healthy, stay safe, and we wish you all the best on your pathway to wellness.